Hello, I'm Jonas. I'm not part of this 300 million euro company. Maybe will be, yeah. So leading the way in traffic. So I guess everybody in here knows the feeling that you're going somewhere with your vehicle and you're getting stuck in traffic. And once you're stuck, you're wondering, oh, was there another way I should have gone? What could I have done differently? Should I use the navigator? Oh no, the navigator maybe doesn't work, and so on. So, but anybody recognize themselves? Okay, excellent drivers in here. But the fact is, this is what professional drivers see every day. Service technicians, courier drivers, taxi drivers, and so on. And what if there was a way to drive smart to avoid to get stuck in traffic? So if you could drive smartly and connected, you can actually shorten your travel times by 5% and at the same time reduce your fuel consumption by 5%. And that's also why we come into the program of the Energy Agency, because reducing the fuel consumption, of course, is good for the lower carbon emission, which in the end is good for companies and what they look like. And because these companies, when you look at logistic companies, they have like 2% margin, like the best. So just by increasing them 7% in time makes their end of year result increase 50%. So there's a huge potential to say to these companies, start using driving smartly, and you invest almost nothing, and you start earning money straight away. And we run a system over Stockholm today where we calculate how the traffic is moving. And we do this by collecting a lot of data from connected vehicles, phones, sensor data, and so on. So we start off with a map of the greater area of Stockholm. We add all of our data on top of that. And from that, we produce a high quality, highly granular traffic data, minute by minute on every street level in Stockholm. And then we package that into a location-based service platform, which means that anybody can access this high-fidelity traffic. So if you are looking to set up a warehouse, we can tell you what the impact would be based on where you put it. And then we can help, for example, companies on how they should set up their routines around their business to avoid having people sitting in traffic. And then on the operational perspective, if you have 1,000 packages, we can tell you, based on the traffic tomorrow and it's raining, you need 50 resources or 57, and they should be driving in this like this. And that day, the driver in itself will be able to receive another job, for example, and say, okay, based on the traffic situation right now, this is the order that I should be doing them in. Right now we are in Stockholm. We are setting up our next system here in London. If you can see the dots, they're very small. Because we only focus on urban areas, because that's where our niche is. And then, of course, proving it here in London, we want to expand into Europe. And we're looking at the 23 largest cities in Europe that are more than 2 million inhabitants and larger than Stockholm. Long sentence, many details. And in the end, we need to we are raising 1 million euros, basically to prove that we can do the same thing in Stockholm, or in London as we're doing in Stockholm, and then prepare us for the next stage where we actually scale out to the larger cities in Europe and later on in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonas.
Yes.
So the audience are not allowed to ask questions, but
Yes.
Since I took Jan's job, I can do it whatever I want. So here's a question for me. Why should an investor invest in your company?
Why? Okay, so it's very easy to look at, to think that, okay, but Google can do this, TomTom, Inrix, and so on, but everybody has their niche, and our niche is high-quality traffic information. And with the Internet of Things, everything will be connected. We'll be able to say what is the friction in the road network, what's the temperature, and so on. And I think the future you will see is that when you get the selfless driving cars, like for Uber, for taxis, you name it, they're going to have to take the most informed decision about how to go from A to B. And working with people and working with systems is easy for them also to evaluate and say, okay, your quality in city traffic is good and better than what we have already. So you see the whole... But your question is, we're good at traffic, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So find Jonas during the break and ask the questions you were not allowed. Yeah, exactly. Don't stay in the sofa. Go out there and mingle. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jonas.